All right. Well, thank you everybody that joined today's Partner Perspective with Increasingly. We're super excited to have Sri and team present AI that drives basket revenue and happier customers. If anybody on the line has questions that they would like to submit throughout the presentation, please do so by utilizing the questions tab on the GoToWebinar toolbar. You could submit them through the entirety of the presentation, and at the end, we will address those. Sri, you're live and you're ready to take it away. Go ahead, my friend.
Hey, thanks so much, Sean. Hi, guys. Very good to meet you. I'm Sri. I'm CEO and co-founder of Increasingly, and we work with Pepperjam. We're a publisher, and really wanted to share a little bit about what Increasingly does, but hopefully also share a little bit of insight around the world of machine learning, a subset of AI, and its influence on e-commerce, which is obviously really very important for all of us in terms of what we do, and particularly important because of COVID and the rise of e-commerce. So hopefully you'll find this very short 15-minute overview interesting, and I'm also really happy to share answers to any questions that you might have. So I'll take you through just a few slides, and I'm actually going to show you live, and I'm hoping you're going to find this interesting. So Increasingly, we're a machine learning and AI technology that specifically focuses on increasing AOV and basket revenue for our customers. And our customers are multi-product retailers. So anyone who sells products online should typically have 50 products or more. And ultimately, we help the retailer grow revenue, and we help the customers have a better experience. And I'll take you through a little bit through that. We've won e-commerce product of the year 2 years running. Best use of AI with Samsung. And you can already see some of the clients we work with, and I'll introduce you to a few more as we go through. So a little bit on the insight piece. So I really believe that AI has a potential impact that is huge for e-commerce. And I'm really glad that retailers are starting to see that in the last 3 or 4 years, particularly, even though AI has been around for a while. And what I wanted to do here was kind of reverse it and actually say, you know, of course, AI is useful, and most people know that, but also the human mind is useful too. And actually both just have different benefits, right, in the e-commerce space and in general. So the human brain is way smaller than the space you need for a supercomputer that can run AI, much smaller in size and also much smaller in terms of weight. But interestingly, the human brain is much more efficient and effective in terms of operations it can do. Our human brains are literally incredible, even though we don't always sit there in awe of what we can do, but we're doing incredible number of operations per second, as you can see on the far right of the screen, relative to any AI system or the best AI system on the planet. Now, that's not to say that AI doesn't have its place. AI wins because it can stay focused. It doesn't actually get tired, whilst a human would get tired, and then those operations per second would decline. It doesn't get biased and say, actually, you know what, I feel like this is better than that, red is better than yellow, because it has no sense of bias, whereas we as humans are influenced by our past experience. It doesn't get saturation, which plays to the point of focus. And lastly, it doesn't lose accuracy. We can get distracted because we might get hungry, or I talked about fatigue earlier, or thirsty, or bored. And I really hope that in this 15 minutes, you're far from bored. So hence, I'm going to make it really short and snappy. So AI, on the other hand, stays infinitely accurate. And so there are good times for the human mind, but there are also good times for AI to play their part. Now, there are different types of AI that you may have heard of, and I just thought I might just unpeel a little bit about when you use what, or at least what we use. So I tend to be more specific than just say we use AI, because actually there are so many divisions of AI. And I'm going to lean on a couple of areas to talk about. So we actually use a field called machine learning, because machine learning is particularly good for taking data in terms of numeric characters and processing them. And there are many different types, as you can see here, in terms of deep learning, supervised, unsupervised. We actually use supervised learning because it's the most fit for our purpose, which is churning through data of what people have purchased what people have abandoned, how people are moving around the site, and using that data to produce insight in real time. We also use natural language processing for reading text, and we use vision to recognize image. So when we work with retailers, we might want to look at a texture of clothing or a color to then say these things really work well together. So hopefully through this, I'm just giving you a little bit of a flavor, and I'll share these slides later on actually when AI is useful and also when to use AI and what it can do. Now, as a technology, we're actually trying to solve real business problems and not just be there for fun. Okay, and a few universal challenges in e-commerce that we play to are, first of all, that upselling is a real missed opportunity. For us to say that retailers leave 10% money on the table, which means that people go to a retailer and they buy things, but they don't buy everything they need. Secondly, customer experience isn't always what we expect it to be as consumers expect and need. Take mobile, for example. It's always clunkier than it is on desktop because of the lack of space. And also what we know is that return on ad spend is ever decreasing because cost per click is going up and competition is going up. So in terms of what we wanted to build, right from when we went live 3-ish years ago, we wanted to address these problems in what we do. Now, we got massively inspired by something that appears as a small function or a feature in Amazon called frequently bought together. And this feature, frequently bought together, I'm sure you've all seen it. It's a feature that enables the customer to find everything they need to complete their project. And that's the key thing. People are looking to complete a project, a beauty regime, a physical look when they shop online. They're never just going online to buy one thing. And Amazon do this incredibly well, all in real time, using, funnily enough, neural networking to do it. And they actually increased their site revenue 6% because of it, and that's 14 billion per year. So we asked ourselves if we could take this concept and scale it for the 95% of retailers who don't do it on site and push it into marketing and even push it into in-store. But let's focus on on-site and in marketing. So what you find from increasingly on the left is effectively our version of frequently bought together or bundling on site, which now drives for clients we work with incremental revenue of 10 to 15% extra revenue. That means all of the affiliate channel goes up 10 to 15%, and the entire site-wide revenue goes up 10 to 15%. And by the way, that 10 to 15% is proven on a split test basis. And I'm going to show you one of our clients in the US, Party City, and also Bare Minerals, a global cosmetics brand, to kind of talk to you about what we've done there and what it worked out to be. So what you see on the left here is that frequently bought together, which is implemented throughout the customer journey, starting on the product page through to the mini cart and cart. And what you see on the right is increasingly proposition for marketing, particularly for the likes of Google Shopping, Amazon, Facebook, and Instagram Shop, where we're actually helping the customer find the bundle directly within Google Shopping. So all of that's done completely independently from the work that your agency and feed provider are handling. Effectively, we work out what are the top selling bundles, which we call collections, thousands of permutations, and help you increase your reach in Google Shopping or Facebook to therefore get more people back to your site. And I'm going to show you a couple of these things. Here's what a couple of clients have said. We work with Avon globally, and they've talked about how AOV has increased 22%, and every time someone buys, on average, they buy 1.1 extra item. Or you take US Polo, they've seen AOV increase 33% on the revenue that we influence, and they've seen that site-wide revenue has gone up 7%. That's pretty huge. 7%, the entire website, 7% up. Affiliate channel, 7% up. And by the way, we do all of this on a CPA basis. So I've talked briefly about the on-site AI bundling product. Here you see an example for Samsung. What does it do? It uplifts your sales. It's powered by AI. It helps the customer because you're helping them buy everything they need for their project. But yet, the client that we're working with can be in control because they can configure things, which is pretty cool. Now, let me jump out just to, actually, I'll show you one more thing that I'll jump out. I also talked about collections, and collections is our ability to power different placements on the website, but also within Google Shopping and Facebook. And you can see that here with this listing for a client in the US called Scandiborn. And here for Samsung, where we're selling the top selling bundle, which is a phone plus the headphones. So let me show you what that looks like live. If I can get this going. Yeah. So if I take Party City, for example, if you scroll to a Party City page, and we're getting into Christmas season, so I thought I'd show you this. And as you scroll down the page, what you will see is you'll see this section. This section is entirely powered by Increasingly. We're literally just a JavaScript on the page, and that's it. And we can already, easily do that through container solutions like Google Tag Manager. The customer sees in here the imagery, sees star rating, sees price. They see algorithmically the top-selling products that sell with this. There's no manual work with the client. They even see the promotions, right? All automated, all pulled in, which gives more attention for the customer's benefit, so that they go, hey, that's a great deal. Maybe I should buy 2 or 3 or 4 things. And then they can interact with this. They might even say, no, I don't want this. I want to have some more details. In this case, it's a simple product, but they might want 3 of them. And the price obviously gets updated. And likewise, if you're in the cosmetics world, as you scroll down, you get this feature, this functionality, this module, and you might go, you know what, I want a different shade. I want that one, chestnut. Add that, it's been updated in here. When you add this to cart, Increasingly surfaces again. You see top selling categories, again, all algorithmically determined, and top selling products from these categories, and then you can add to basket. So that probably gives you a really quick, good overview of that side of things. I can't talk to this really. We drive massive value for the brands that we work with, and that's really our key, is how can we actually do incrementally better revenue for them, and actually even for the customers. Customer surveys, I'm talking end customers, have actually said they find this bundling component so useful. One of our clients' feedback was 92% based on a survey sent to their end customers. These are some of the brands that we work with globally, and you, I hope, recognize some of them. So in the US, you'll definitely recognize the likes of Samsung, Party City, US Polo, and HP, and there's several others, the Met Store, for example. How we work, very simple, just need a tag on site, we're paid on CPA, and it's a fully managed solution, so there's no actual work on the client side to do, because it's all managed on our end. But of course, they have control, they have a dashboard, they can make all the bundles disappear if they ever needed to, they can put rules on top if they want to, but of course they can use the algorithms straight after that too. And very excited to share that since you guys have joined today and in partnership with Pepperjam, we wanted to offer you a special peak season offer, which is we typically have an integration fee because it's about 14 days of work on our end, because we do everything, the design work, the implementation, the algorithm training, the testing, the front-end, back-end development, but we're going to waive that cost. So literally, we're basically saying that if you or your clients sign up by the end of December, you don't have to go live then. You can go live into next year, and we can agree that. There'll be no integration fee, so it'll be purely on a CPA. And this can really mean that in 2021, you can really hit the ground running, help your customers, give them a better experience, and also boost your site-wide revenue 10 to 15%, which is really huge and really impactful and a great strategy for 2021. With that, I said I'd be really quick. I hope that you found this interesting and you've also found something you could take away and learn from the AI, a little intro. And if there's any questions, I'd be really happy to answer them. Thanks, guys.
Sri, thank you so much for presenting. That was some really great stuff. So guys, anybody who's on the line, if you have questions, please don't hesitate to submit them through the questions tab. It looks like we have a few questions here. Sri, if you want to just jump in, I'll ask them and you could go ahead. First question, do you work on a CPA, and what is your typical commission rate?
Sure. So absolutely, we work on a CPA. I'll go back to that slide so you guys can see it. Yes, we work on a CPA, and the commission rate will just be within the normal advertiser range, because every advertiser has like a range, and we'll comfortably sit within that range. So there'll be no surprises.
Okay, next up, how long does it typically take to implement?
So to implement, typically when we get the assets, which are like, putting the tag on site and the client saying, hey, I'm happy with the design, right? And you've seen from Party City and from Bare Minerals that the design has some consistency, but you can change the look and feel, the font, the color, etc. Once that's signed off, and we do the design work, but once they've just done a review and signed it off and we've got the tag on, we typically say 3 to 4 weeks. So it's pretty quick.
Awesome. Guys, don't be shy. Please, if you have any questions, submit them through the question tab while we have Sri live today. Okay, so next question. What is the typical uplift in AOV or site revenue?
So in terms of overall site revenue, clients tend to see between 10 to 15% site-wide uplift. In terms of AOV, that can depend on vertical, but on the products that we influence, we tend to see somewhere between 30 and 50% AOV uplift on the products we influence. Site-wide, you tend to see AOV uplift of somewhere between 7 or 8 and 15%, kind of consistent with the revenue uplift.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, next question here. We have you had experience working with food or grocery brands before? Would like to hear insights on how increasingly works within that vertical?
That's really interesting. We actually haven't gone there yet, but they certainly tick the box of having enough products. And I'd love to be exploring that world, and I think that would be a very interesting use case for us. We could certainly use the algorithm to good effect there, but in terms of existing experience, we haven't done that just because there've been so many other client verticals that we've been working with. But it is a very interesting use case for us. So very open to talking. Please get in touch with me and we can explore that further.
Great. That question was from Mohammed. Mohammed, feel free to reach out to Sri one-to-one to discuss that further. Okay, let's keep moving. What do we have here? Okay, so why should I work with you instead of building this ourselves?
Okay, that's a good challenging question. I like that one. So you absolutely can build this yourself, right? There is no doubt. If you've got enough technical competence, you can build it. Most things, to be perfectly honest. The question is, how long would it take you to build? Question is, would you have the data sources beyond your own data to train the algorithms? Do you have the machine learning and AI expertise within your company? And then it comes to really a business case, doesn't it? Is it really worth investing the time to go and build that? How long will it take you to build it? Do you have the capacity to maintain it? Versus buying it off the shelf at a fraction of all of that cost, and it's built for you, ready to go in 3 to 4 weeks, and it's going to remain cutting edge because it's all we do, every day. So of course I'm biased, but I'm being candid. You can build most things. The question is, will you get it to the same level of outcome as buying a vendor who actually specializes in it? There's often a saying over here, which is stick to your knitting, which means stick to the things that you do really, really well, and for the rest, call in experts to help you.
Fantastic. We have another question. So how many products does my site need to have to see the benefit from this technology?
Right, that's another great question. You need to have about 50 products, not more, but you need to have 50 or so. The reason for that is, if you have like 10 products, you certainly could buy increasingly, and we would be a very good utility in terms of the functionality of the placement through the site. But then someone internally is going to go, this UX element, couldn't we just hack something together But when you've got 50 products or more, to be able to automate algorithmically what products are shown together becomes justifiable to you, the vendor, because you can eke out more revenue. If you've just got like 5 to 10 products, you can kind of hustle together, like, you know, a quick UX and stick 2 products up and test it, and then stick another 2 or 3 and test it. But when you get more products, like 50, you kind of want a technology that's best of breed, because you can eke out a lot more percentage points of revenue.
Awesome. Okay, Sri, it looks like that's all the questions we have right now. Guys, we'll give it a couple more minutes. So if you have anything, please don't hesitate to ask. As well, on the screen, you can see that Sri's contact information is there. So if you want to take this offline and email him one-to-one, please do so. You could also see all those awards down there, which, you know, speak for themselves. So let's give it another minute, Sri, and we'll see if anybody has anything else. But in the meantime, thank you so much for, you know, joining today and presenting this to, you know, the Pepperjam ecosystem. We really appreciate it.
Thanks very much for having me, Sean. Really appreciated that too. I really enjoyed it. Thank you very much, guys.
Oh, our pleasure. Our pleasure. Okay, guys, let's give it another minute, and we'll see if anything comes through. And if not, we'll get some time back to your day. Sri, you're getting a lot of thank yous for the presentation on here, but it doesn't look like we're going to have any more questions come through. So once again, thank you guys. Thank you for joining. Everybody stay safe and healthy. Keep an eye on your inbox tomorrow for an email that will include the deck as well as a recording of the presentation. And we'll catch you on the next Partner Perspective. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.